9 lives. Detective Lena Carlson stared at the black cat on her windowsill. Its emerald eyes reflected the full moon, seeming almost human in their intelligence. She hadn't planned on keeping a stray, but something about this one was different. The way it watched her type reports, studied her gun holster, observed her every move with unnerving attention, she named it Midnight. That same week, the disappearances started. First, Dr. Marcus Reynolds, director of a controversial research facility, vanished without a trace. Then, Robert Kane, known for running illegal animal fights. Finally, Linda Morrison, recently caught on video throwing kittens into the river. All gone during full moon nights, the only evidence. Long black hairs, deep scratches on wooden surfaces, and a lingering scent of lavender perfume. Lena stayed late at the precinct one night, reviewing cold cases. Her coffee had gone cold when she found it. A decade-old file about Dr. Elizabeth Blackwood, a geneticist who disappeared after exposing illegal animal experiments. The facility had burned down mysteriously, with only one survivor, a black cat that was never found. The connection clicked just as moonlight flooded her office. A crack of bones and shifting flesh made her spin around. Where Midnight had been sitting now stood a naked woman with long black hair and those same striking green eyes. Her movements were fluid, feline, unnaturally graceful. 9 lives, the woman spoke, her voice a purring contralto. 9 full moons, 9 chances for justice. Lena reached for her gun, but the woman moved with impossible speed, pinning her against the wall. Up close, her eyes were still cat-like, pupils vertical slits in a sea of green. "Dr. Blackwood?" Lena managed to whisper. The woman smiled, showing teeth too sharp to be human. "They thought they could silence me, bury their crimes against innocent creatures. But I found a way to become something more, to make them understand what it feels like to be the prey." She released Lena, stepping back. "You've seen their files, Detective. How many animal abuse cases did you investigate before homicide? How many monsters walked free?" "This isn't justice," Lena argued. "This is vengeance. Is there a difference?" Blackwood tilted her head, a distinctly feline gesture. "I give them exactly what they deserve, to know what it feels like to be hunted, to be helpless, to be treated like animals." Lena's hand inched toward her gun. "And the missing people? Let's just say they're experiencing life from the other side of the cage." Blackwood's smile widened. "Some survive the experience, most don't, but they all learn their lesson. I have to stop you. Do you?" Blackwood moved to the window. "Check tomorrow's reports. The man in apartment 4B at Cedar Street, the one who's been poisoning neighborhood cats. See what he does to them. Then decide if I'm really the monster here." Before Lena could respond, Blackwood's form began to shift. Bones cracked, flesh rippled, and in moments, a black cat stood in her place. With one last penetrating look from those emerald eyes, she leaped into the darkness. Lena investigated Cedar Street the next day. She found evidence of animal torture that made her stomach turn. The apartment's resident was gone. Another mysterious disappearance. The official reports list Dr. Elizabeth Blackwood's case as unsolved. The string of disappearances continued for 9 full moons exactly, then stopped. No bodies were ever found. Lena transferred to the Animal Crimes Division shortly after. She keeps a photo on her desk now, a black cat with green eyes, sitting on a windowsill in moonlight. Her colleagues wonder about her obsession with animal abuse cases, about her perfect conviction rate, about the perpetrators who mysteriously confess or disappear before trial. They whisper about how she leaves her office window open on full moon nights, and about the black cat sometimes seen watching from the shadows. They talk about her signature perfume, lavender. Some say on full moon nights. If you've ever harmed an animal, you might feel green eyes watching you from the darkness. You might hear a sound that could be purring or could be laughter. And if you're particularly cruel, you might meet a beautiful woman with cat-like grace who offers to show you life from a different perspective. As for Lena, her apartment remains cat-free. But on late nights at the precinct, when the moon is full and the shadows are long, she sometimes leaves out a saucer of milk. And if some animal abusers happen to disappear, well, every cop knows some cases are better left unsolved. After all, justice comes in many forms. Sometimes it has claws. Lena thought that would be the end of it. But 3 months after the disappearances stopped, she received an unmarked package. Inside was Dr. Blackwood's personal journal, its pages filled with detailed genetic formulas and philosophical musings about consciousness transfer. The last entry caught her eye. The procedure isn't just about vengeance anymore, it's evolution. Humanity needs to understand what it means to be powerless, to be hunted, to be at the mercy of creatures who view your life as worthless. 9 lives were just the beginning. The knowledge is spreading. More of us are changing. More are learning. More are hunting. That night, Lena noticed something different about her reflection in the mirror. Had her eyes always had that slight vertical tilt? Was her night vision always this sharp? She found herself moving more gracefully, hearing sounds that should have been impossible to detect. The journal's final page held a single sentence. "Welcome to the Pride, Detective Carlson." Now, on full moon nights, if you walk the streets of Portland, you might see more than one pair of green eyes watching from the shadows. The whispers in dark alleys speak of multiple avengers. Some feline, some human, all hunting those who prey on the innocent. They say every city has its own pride now, its own protectors who blur the line between human and feline. And if you listen carefully on those moonlit nights, you might hear not just one cat's purr, but a chorus of justice echoing through the darkness. A reminder that sometimes the most effective predator is one who knows what it means to be prey. After all, every cat knows 9 lives are just the beginning. The real question is, how many lives does humanity have left? The end.